mea tuatahi kei te mihi atu au ki a koutou, Ngāti Whātua, Ngāti Pāwa, ngā iwi o konei, he honore nui tēnei, kia tū kei mui a koutou, I wainganui tēnei rohe. Kia koe Jeremy mo tō mihi miharo kia mātou, kia ora. Ki ngā kai hautu o tēnei whariwānanga, Vice-Chancellor, Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellor Māori, all the bigwigs, e rauranga tina mā, tēnā koutou. To my Illuminati mates, what an honour last night to hear your stories. I am very nervous about speaking tonight. Last time I spoke was to the Triennial District Court Judges Conference. They wanted me to speak for an hour. I had to have a vodka first to get through that. I'm a bit worried about going over time, but I decided that seeing as how it's International Women's Day, I'm going to also exercise my treaty rights. So settle down, stage manager. And I must say that probably my biggest thrill today tonight was to have a hug with the iconic Brian Williams, Sir Brian Williams. So ngā mihi ki a koe. Dalvanius Maui Prime, an iconic artist, my mentor and friend in the music industry, gave me two pieces of advice when we first met up. He said, Moana, be nice to people on the way up, you'll meet the same ones on the way down, and don't believe your own publicity. So when I received that invitation, I sort of thought, yeah, I don't know about this one, so I rang up just to check, they got the right one, blah, blah, blah. And lovely Amy explained to me that I was not about to receive the award for my academic record. I had to digest that for a moment and think whether that was a compliment or not. But I would like to thank my mysterious nominator and the committee for considering me, and I accept this honour with immense pride and on the understanding that my work as an artist and whatever is part of a continuum, it's part of a whakapapa from people who have paved the way before me and those that are exercising the benefits of that now. I'm just part of that. So I think of my father, a great musician, a lover of kapa. I think of Dalvanius and my friend Hinewihi Mohi and others, and I'm proud to look at a new generation of Māori artists like Alien Weaponry and Kiko and Maiamoa who are nailing it with te reo. It's so exciting. Each of us have been taking on, bouncing off each other, building, sharing, and building on that whakapapa. And there is a whakatauki that expresses that. Nā tauroro, nā takuroro, ka ora te iwi e. From my food basket, from your food basket, we will be sustained. There's also another really important whakatauki. E hara taku tō i te tō taki tahi, he tō taki tini. My achievements aren't mine alone, they're of the many. And I really mean that. My work has been enriched by amazing creatives. Three of them are here tonight. My wonderful sister Trina, great singer and wonderful organiser for our band, and my dear friend Amaria Rediti, been a very good friend for many years, and my darling Toby Mills, filmmaker and fabulous cook for the whānau. But more importantly, my work has been enriched by people who are outside the music industry, and people who are great thinkers, who are visionaries, who have helped shape my own thinking, and that's helped inform my music. Some of those people have come from the university, and I'm looking at you, Professor Jane Kelsey, my dear friend and mentor for many years. So tonight is an opportunity for me to acknowledge those visionaries, those activists, those artivists. My music began in the lounge in Invercargill, South Island Rocks, and I would never have imagined that I would have taken my music with my band to so many different parts of the world. We were performing on the steps of Vecchio and Piazza Signoria, the first band to ever play live on the steps in Florence and play in places like Venice, where Dale was, and within eye shot of the Kremlin. I mean, it's surreal. In the Arctic Circle, in reggae and world music and jazz festivals like the Montreux Jazz Festival. This has been my experience, and it's been enriching, and thanks to lots of people, including my manager, Sol de Soleil. So I never imagined when I was a child that I would be taking this pathway. But then, as mentioned, I never imagined I'd do a law degree or go to varsity. Varsity was for very brainy, white, rich people. And law, we only knew 2 lawyers in our entire upbringing. Georgina Te Hehe, my aunt, the first Māori woman to attain a law degree and be admitted to the bar, and our whānau trust lawyer, John Chadwick. And that was it. So to come to university was a big deal. I was obviously I was inspired to come to university. Well, see, in the 70s, I don't know about you guys, but Māori girls were encouraged to be secretaries, teachers, and nurses. But my friend's mother said, you and my daughter are going to university. And we thought, oh God, really? Anyway, we saw Donna Awatere. She was she was like this amazing inspiration, educational psychologist, fierce and beautiful and articulate. And I want to be like her. So we enrolled at Waikato University. And I started doing sociology and stuff like that, but I was a miserable failure. So I enrolled in law. And actually the backstory to that is that my friend and we went to court one day to support a man called Dan Mihaka. Now, he's an activist and a writer, and he always defended himself in court, and he had multiple occasions to do so. We went along to support him, and there were 2 things that struck me about that occasion: the number of Māori milling around the courtroom waiting to go in, and the fact that the judge admonished him for speaking in Māori. And I was gutted. I watched this man, who was very proud, shrink. And I thought, okay, this has got to change. We need more Māori judges. We need more Māori lawyers. I'm signing up. So I signed up to Auckland University because I thought, okay, we need justice. Now, things went a little bit pear-shaped when I went to classes run by my dear friend Jane Kelsey and David Williams, because they told me things I never learnt in school, and I should have, about parihaka, about ruakenana, about the New Zealand Land Settlement Act, about all these things that alienated Māori from our land, and how Māori were arrested and shipped away without trial. And I started to think, hey, this isn't justice. Where's the justice in this? So by the time I got to the end of my degree, I was very conflicted. And I always remember at the first Huinga Rangatahi meeting, I mentioned it last night, where all the Māori students from all the universities get together and we plot how we're going to save our people. So we're all there plotting how we're going to save our people, and the door burst open and Hone Harawira came in. And he says, you little wankers, you're all trying to figure out how to save your people, aren't you? I said, my God, the guy's psychic. Actually, we are. He said, I want you to remember one thing. The answers are not in this university, they're outside there with the people. And I thought, hey, I like that. So when I finished university, Jane and I and a number of our friends who are in law school, we spent a lot of time with a community trust, and the 80s was a little bit of a rough ride politically, and we spent a lot of time demystifying what was going on with government policy and getting that out to NGOs and to community groups so that they could advocate for or against it. And I also spent a lot of time, luckily, meeting professors from across the other side. I don't know where we are now, but the Māori side of the campus, Dr. Ranginui Walker, Dr. Patu Hohepa, Waireti Norman, and as part of that cohort, I sort of ended up at the Auckland District Māori Council hui with, the Jacksons were there, Bob Jackson, Sid Jackson, Te Whai Harawira. So those were very meaningful experiences for a young person like me who'd come out of law and thinking, where's the justice? Meanwhile, I was paying my way through university by singing, and I kind of decided that music was an important site for resistance for me. It was in an era where we were basically invisible. Māori women were invisible. Te reo was invisible. We didn't hear or see ourselves on the radio or the television. So I thought that maybe I could use my music as a platform to advocate. You know, like a lawyer would do in a courtroom, I'll use that, but with groovier beats. And it kind of sort of did the trick. So when I look back over the last 30 years of my music career, I can see what it's like, what was happening in Aotearoa, the changes that were made, the stories, the politics, the complexities, because that's what I've been writing about. I did the odd love you, baby, but that really didn't, thing with me. So countless performances overseas. We're on to my 6th album, and I've learned a few truths, and I'm going to share those with you. Music is fun. Music is a way to connect with people. It connects with people, the artist to the person in the audience, an issue, to connect to an issue, to connect to people past cultures and boundaries. When we had a lack of interest in our music here in Aotearoa, the most empowering thing for us was to go offshore. Holy moly. We didn't get success in spite of our Māoriness. We got success because of it. Because people not only enjoyed the music, but if they didn't enjoy the music, they enjoyed the values that it represented. Whanaungatanga, kaitiakitanga, rangatiratanga, the sort of things that my mother, Bernadette, who's here with me tonight, and my father, Nepia, raised their children on. So music connects. Music, film, art. And I know we have some art patrons here who know that. Music is a safe space to explore critical issues. Globally hot, locally not. I'll tell you something ridiculous. We go and play in Moscow at a university. We come back. The New Zealand ambassador to Russia at the time, Stuart Pryor, rings me up. Oh, Moana, there's been a protest at the university. It's because of you. Your band. I said, what? He goes, they want to learn Māori. Hello? A Russian university started a Māori language program. Can you believe it? So it's true. Anyway, so because in my group we had professors and lecturers and people that, multitask. Going offshore has taught me the most amazing thing, that Māori are seen as trailblazers around the world. We are looked up to as leaders by other Indigenous communities. We have gone to the Arctic Circle, arrived there, thought we're the first Māori here, the only New Zealanders. Some lady comes up to us and says, do you want to come and see our kohanga reo? Do you know Timoti Karatu? I'm like, what the heck? They have a kohanga reo in the Arctic for the Sami people to reclaim their music. Our visionary Māori leaders have been inspiring Indigenous people around the world, and I'm so proud to bask in their limelight. Music is a soft power, and I don't believe the powers here in New Zealand recognise it. I have had pitches to me from the likes of the Florence City Council. Could you please see if we could work out a sister city relationship with Auckland? I'm like, me? I'm just a musician, man. I come back to New Zealand, I can't even get past the secretary to the mayor at the time. Not this mayor, this mayor's okay. Yeah. Whakapapa backwards. Can you believe it? And I'm saying to the secretary, Florence. I think we have a relationship with Guangzhou or something. I was like, whoa. Anyway, lots of opportunities like that. Same with Taiwan. But I've never been able to translate these into tangibles. He's going to listen to me, I'm just a musician. Māori gives New Zealand its distinct identity. But as Moana Jackson says, my mentor Moana Jackson, you cannot love the culture if you do not love the people. So I am always excited by the potential, particularly of rangatahi, to envisage a treaty-based, values-based future Aotearoa. When we were at university, we outside the university walls, just quietly, we had this hui where we were asked to imagine an Aotearoa which was treaty-based, which encompassed all the iwi, which was based on values, which brought everybody in. It was inclusive, it represented diversity, and it would be just. And that was a really hard thing to do. I ran an exercise in Stanford a couple of years ago with some Indigenous students, Māori. They came up with it just like that. I was so excited by that. I truly believe, after travelling the world, that Indigenous values are the key to the future. And in the old days, some of us, and some of you in this room, would have been labelled, some may still be, commies and radicals and activists. The circle is turning, people are catching up. All these values that are Māori are found in other Indigenous cultures, and what I've found through my music is that more and more people are connecting with them. More and more Pākehā see the value in them. They think, this is us. We need to make generational decisions that represent these values, that have people as part of an ecosystem, not lording above it. So I would like to just thank you for this time and opportunity to say something. And I want to acknowledge once again my Illuminatis, who I'm just like, oh my God, fabulous. Brilliant and yet down to earth. I think we'll be friends forever. And here's what I would like to ask of you. That you understand the power of the arts to connect and the potential of the treaty to give us an amazing future. It is nothing to be afraid of. That you join with other allies and champion that. And if some of you would like practical, tangible ways to do that, I would suggest that e-tangata is one of the few media platforms to give a Māori and Pacific Island voice, is desperately looking for supporters. Here's what I'd like to ask of the university, that all students be encouraged to critique and dream and imagine new ways of doing things, a new Aotearoa that has the treaty at its heart and those values at its heart. And here's what I would ask of students, that you think about not becoming a cog in the system that we have, but being like a little firebomb that's going to tip it over and enrich all of us. And this is a piece of advice that I heard a long time ago in the Detroit Baptist Church by a man called Reverend Al Sharpton. He said, you got to stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Kia ora. Thank you. We are... Sorry. When will you put your hands up and do something? Will you speak out or say nothing? There is so much we have to lose. 'Cause if you move like this, take your time, you get used to it. There's no good reason we can't make a change. So get off the fence, it's far too crowded. Take a chance now, scream and shout it. Now's the time to put your hands up. Kia ora, thank you.